Hey, come on guys, let's learn AWS EC2 today. So what is EC2? EC2 full form is Elastic Compute Cloud. So let's see what these three words means. So elastic means EC2 resources can be scaled up or scaled down at any time. So it is elastic in nature. So these resources can be increased or decreased based on the parameters like traffic or any other parameters. So EC2 provide compute instances. So here compute means this EC2 will provide three things. So EC2 will provide memory, CPU, then storage, hard disk. So here cloud means EC2 are nothing but virtual machines that are managed by the AWS. So AWS have their own physical servers hosted in their data centers in various regions like America, Europe, India, or many other countries. So EC2 are nothing but a like logical isolation of these virtual machines. So you can consider your laptop as one of the physical server, and you can install hypervisor on top of that. And on top of hypervisor, you can install multiple virtual machines, and you can use those as separate virtual machines. So like that, AWS also will have its own large physical servers, and they will provide the logically isolated virtual machines as EC2 service. While creating EC2 instances, you have to choose the EC2 type based on the purpose of that particular instance or that particular server. So the EC2 type can be general or general purpose. So if you are using this EC2 instance for any general task, then you can choose the type as general purpose EC2 instance. Or your task needs high CPU. At that time, you can choose compute optimized EC2 instances. So high CPU applications like, for example, if you are building some machine learning models or any gaming application, at that time, the EC2 instances should be compute optimized EC2 instance. Or if you are working on some big data analytics kind of data, at that time you can choose memory optimized EC2 instance because those tasks needs high memory. Similarly, if you are working on some large file kind of thing, then you can use the storage optimized EC2 type also. Creating EC2 instances is very easy, so anyone can do that. But as cloud expert, you should make a decision of what instances you should create, what type of instances you should choose. So these decisions you should take as a cloud expert. Come on, guys, let's create EC2 instance now. So before creating EC2 instance, we have to choose one more thing called as region. It is very, very important. Creating EC2 instance on correct region is very important. So we can choose the correct region based on two parameters. One is the latency and another one is the compliance. So based on these requirements, you can choose the correct region. So if your client is based on India, then you can choose the region as Mumbai because latency will be lower. So latency here, nothing but it's the speed of your response. So faster the if you want faster response, then you can choose the low latency regions. So if the client is in India, then you can choose the Mumbai region, or if client is on USA, then you can choose the regions like North Virginia or any other region. So like this, you can choose the region based on the latency. Also, you can choose the region based on the compliance. So generally, if you're working on a banking sector or any similar type of sectors, then your banking data should be reside on the same country. So if you are working on American bank, then that data should be reside on America only. It should not go out of country. So now I will create Mumbai as the region. Then I will go ahead and create EC2 instance. So to create EC2 instance, first we have to search EC2 service here. So in search bar, you can search for any service. So I'm going to search EC2 now and click on EC2. So we will get a EC2 instance dashboard. So if you click on instances here, if any instances is running, it will show, it will list that instances here. And now no instance is there. So I have to create one instance. So to create instance, you can click on launch instances. And first you have to give a name for instance. So name can be the purpose of this instance. So I will just name it as demo instance now. So then next thing is we have to choose the OS of that instance. So OS can be Windows, Linux, or based on your use case, you can select that particular OS. Then you have to choose the distribution of that particular Linux also. So for example, now I'm going to choose Ubuntu as my OS. So once you select the distribution of OS, then you have to choose the type or version of that particular distribution. So now I can choose Ubuntu 24.04, that is the latest version. Then I can choose the architecture. I will give it as 64-bit x86 only. Then this is the thing, like we have to choose the instance type. So based on your use case, like either it is general purpose or compute optimized or memory optimized, based on that you can select the instance type here. And make sure that for demo purpose, just choose the free trial eligible instance only, so that you will not get any cost for that instance. So I will select t2.micro now. So next important thing we have to create is key pair. So name is key pair here. Key pair means it is a combination of public key and private key. So public key will be added into this particular instance, and private key you are going to download that private key, and you are going to log into this particular instance using this private key. So you should not share this key pair with anyone. So it's like the key for your locker or key for your home. So you should not share that with anyone. If you share that with anyone, they can log in with that particular key pair, and they can log into that instance and they can do anything on that particular instance. So just be careful while creating or sharing the key pair with anyone. So I will name it as, you can name it as anything, but I will name it as my key pair now. Then you can download the PEM file. So private key you should download, and you can log into this particular instance using this private key. So it is downloaded now, my key pair. So once that is done, then you can choose the network settings also. So I will keep this network settings as by default. So I will explain these network things in next session. So we can allow the SSH traffic now, so that I can log into this instance using my SSH key. So next is storage. Storage based on your use case you can choose. So now it is 8 GB. So it's a small instance. Small. I am using this for demo task. So I can survive with the 8 GB now. But in production use cases, you have to choose more storage. So that's it. Once you choose these things, then you can click on launch instance here. So click on launch instance. So it will take 1 minute to launch this instance, not even 1 minute. So it will be very fast. So then you can click on view all instances. So demo instances is creating now. Its instance state is pending, and once it is in a running state, you can log into that instance. So if I refresh this page now, so now it is in a running state, then you can see status check is in initializing. So status check should be passed. So once status check is passed, then you can log into this particular instance. So now status check is passed, and I can click on my instance. Then I can view all the details of my particular instance. So it has public IP, private IP, and other things. So yeah, we can log in to this instance using public IP address. I will explain private IP and other things in next session. So now just concentrate on public IP. So we can log in to this instance using this IP now. So you can connect to this particular EC2 instance in multiple way. You can just click on connect, and here we have multiple ways. So first one is EC2 instance connect. So here you can connect to this EC2 instance from your browser only. You can choose that option also. But now I am going to use the SSH client option. So in SSH client, you can use any client like Putty. So in Windows, you can install this Putty third-party tool, and you can use that Putty tool. But I have Git Bash installed on my laptop, so I installed in Git session. So you can check out my Git video also. There I have demonstrated how we can install Git Bash on your laptop, and how we can use Git commands. Check out that video too. But now I'm going to log into this particular instance using Git Bash. For that, I have the command like SSH commands. So first I have to change my directory to downloads, because I downloaded the key to downloads folder. So I have changed it to downloads. Then The steps will be mentioned in this section only, so you can copy that commands only. Like first, I have to change the permission to 400 chmod 400 to my key, that is my key pair. Once that is done, then I can log in using this command ssh -i, then the key name, that is my key pair dot pem, then the username, that is Ubuntu, then the DNS, public DNS. So public DNS you will get in the EC2 description only. You can log in using public DNS or public IP. Like when I go to this EC2 instance, if I go back, here I have two things. One is public IP address. You can log in using this public IP address, or you can use this public IP for DNS. Using this DNS name also you can log in. First, I will switch it to the root user so that I should not use sudo for all the commands. I will run apt-get update to update all the packages here. So that all the packages are updated. Then if you are using any other OS like CentOS or Red Hat, then you can use yum update. So in case of Ubuntu, we are going to use apt-get update. So it will take 1 or 2 minutes. So it's updated now. Then now let's install some tool and let's access that tool with the IP address of our EC2 instance. Now I'm going to install one third-party tool called as nginx. So to install nginx, I have to use the command apt-get install nginx. So here nginx is a open source tool. It's a web server and it can be used for a reverse proxy or a load balancer kind of use cases. You can use nginx. So I'm going to install that tool now. So apt-get install nginx. So it will ask for the, do you want to continue? Then click on yes. Then nginx should be installed now. So now I can check the status of this particular nginx service. So service nginx status. So status is active and running. So I can use this nginx service now. Once the nginx is installed, it is installed on particular port. That particular port is here. It is installed on 80 port. So if you are not specified any port, it will by default it will take the 80 port. To access this application now, the 80 inbound port should be open. I will explain this inbound outbound port in networking session. But for now, just open the port 80 port. You can go for networking or security. In security, you can choose for the inbound rule. Inbound rule, I have opened only 22 port, that is for SSH login. So I will edit this inbound rule and I will open 80 port also, so that I can access nginx from my browser. I can choose type will be HTTP. So nginx is just a web server. I can access that using HTTP port, and the port is 80 port, and I can choose this. For now, I will choose anywhere. So, but you should not do it in any production server, because production, it should be secured, and you should give a valid CADR range here. So then you can click on save rules. Once 80 port is open, then you can access this application nginx in your browser. So let's copy my IP, public IP before, then I can use the port 80. By default, it will take 80 only if you are not mentioned port. So once that is done, now you can see welcome to nginx. So because I have installed nginx on this particular server, so I can access this server from my browser using the public IP v4 address. Also, you can change the index.html page of this and other things. So like if you are going to var and www and HTML, you can create your own index.html here. So if I create my index.html, so I can add any content here, like welcome to Tech World with Sandesh. So I want to display this content on that particular nginx. Then I can save this index.html page. Now if I go to this, it should display my content like welcome to Tech World with Sandesh. So you can change your HTML page also like this. So that's the use case of nginx. Nginx can be used for many other purpose, like reverse proxy, load balance, and other things, but this is the use case. Like I have created one EC2 instance now, and I have installed one a simple application, simple tool, that is nginx, and I can access that in my browser using the public IP address. So that's it. That is what I want to cover on this EC2 session. So next I will cover networking and other topics. So if the content is interesting, then please subscribe and watch other videos also. So subscribe and keep learning.